get it, 'cause I gotta get it.
What's going on? It's your boy SB. So we are talking about the three. I should have made the thumbnail like this. We are talking about the three most pressured positions at Amazon warehouse. Now, this is based off of my experience and my opinion. These are more so just the positions. This is not really indirects. I didn't throw the indirects in there because indirect is more of a voluntary role. So we're talking about the L7s, the senior ops. We're talking about the ops, which is the L6, the L5, L4, L3, and the tier 1. Now, the way that I rate this is from personal experience, encounters with each one of these people in these positions, being in rooms with each one of these positions, talking to people outside of work that are in all of these positions. But I would definitely want to hear your opinion on this. If you have a different top three, drop it in the comment section. And out of these levels, which one has the most pressure in those levels, in those positions? Which one has the most pressure? What do you think? Before I even start, what do you think? Because when I came in as a tier 1, just looking around and seeing everything, I was very observing everything, every position. I see they're not really happy. Okay, I see this. I don't ever see that person stressing. I was very observant. My thoughts coming in, I thought the one at the highest was probably the most stressed out because you rarely see him. He's like Batman. You feel me? He'll just like hop in a meeting for like a couple seconds. You don't see him. He in the back. You just notice because because the L6 in the front start getting spooked. It's like, wait, why are they acting different? Everything. Oh, okay. Batman's here. That's when I start laughing. I always laugh when people switch up around certain people. So the only time I seen Batman or the L7 is when they would pop into meetings. Never really was loud, never was crazy, never seen him yell, never seen him get out of character. But you would only really see him when numbers weren't hit or something was just something was missed by like a lot. Like I said, when that bat light come on, you feel me? He come with a cape. You don't even hear the door open. It's just, don't look back. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. He's here. He's here. He's here. You see the obster sweating. He's here. He's here. Don't look. Don't look. So I always thought, okay, he probably had the most stress on him because there was plenty of times where there was like, all right, all the indirects and, tier 3s, we got to have a meeting. It's like, oh, y'all finna get it. And besides them, I thought, the chain of command, I thought it would be like the senior, then the regular ops, because there's more responsibility the higher up you go. That's what you would think, right? Well, with my time working there, that changed and it almost directly flipped. So here is my top 3 on what I believe with my experience. These do not reflect the views of Amazon warehouse by any circumstance of the matter. But before we start, you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and put the notification bell on. Let's get into it. All right, so the top 3, what would you think number 3 is? And number 1 being the most pressured position, the most pressured position. Taking spot number 3, I would have to give that to the tier 1s. That is a fact. I would have to give that to the tier 1. And the reason why, when I was thinking about this vlog, I also remembered some times where I was stressed out and I felt like I had to walk on eggshells. And I was like, oh, snaps, that was some pressure right there. Also, when you're a tier 1, the pressure of losing your job really affects some people. And that's a big stress, especially if you have a lot of responsibilities or if you have a family or if you got a mortgage, then that job becomes more than just a job. That becomes something that is supporting your livelihood. I even felt that when I first became a homeowner and then I went to work the next day. I was like, man, okay, you feel me? I'm leaving the crib, going to work. It felt all good and dandy until I felt a certain way at work. And it's like, whoa, I can't act up. I can't get out of line, or I feel like I can't speak up if that endangers the job because now I got a mortgage over my head. I give it to the tier 1 because you can lose your job. In my opinion, I gotta say in my opinion, but it's like if you go negative on UPT, this is controllable, people. Be responsible. You need to be responsible with your UPT. But if you go negative, it's a very, very high chance that you may get called into HR for that. But beyond the UPT, things like quality, things like productivity, when I first started, they were big on those things. I actually got a write-up before, and I got a write-up in my beginning stages for quality. And the thing was, I didn't think I was even doing nothing wrong. So that's why when they told me about it, it was like, yo, how? I'm doing everything y'all told me. I kept it cool, calm, and collected, but inside I'm like, yo, afterwards, that changed me up for a little bit. I was very careful afterwards. And then I started getting them thoughts. Oh man, I can't get another write up. Oh man, oh man, put it on. That pressure hits. Think about the people who couldn't meet productivity. Because as I've said before, Amazon is a warehouse job, meaning it's not for every single person. For some people, it just may not be for them. And imagine those people. They come in getting a better than average pay, or at least better than minimum wage. And they even know in their mind, like, man, this is tough, but I need these finances. But to know they're not hitting that rate, and to get talked to, the only thing going in their minds like, oh my goodness, I could lose this job, I could do the boom. That's pressure. So that's why I give the tier ones that number 3 spot. Out of all 7s, yes, tier 1 would be number 3 when it comes to the most pressured position. That's a fact. I would have to give that to the tier 1. And there's plenty more to add on to those reasons. Drop it in the comment section, the first thing that pops in your head, or maybe the first 10, whichever you want to do. So number 2, we got number 2 and number 1 left. What do you think would be the second most pressured position in Amazon warehouse? In my opinion, I would have to give this to the tier 3. You like, what? The PAs don't be doing nothing. Whatever you may say. Out of all those positions, the PA number 2? Yes, the PA number 2. And the reason why is because of the 3 Bs and a few other things I'm going to get into. The 3 Bs, I usually see people in this position end up in one of these 3 Bs. Bitter, better, or back out. And why I think this is one of the most pressured areas, I would have put this in number 1, but once I explain number 1, you might get it. I mean, man, it may compare with number 1, but nah, I'm not going to say. I'm going to keep this number 2. And the reason why is because the pressure on this position, it hits a little bit different. Because in this position, this is a position where you're filled with hopes and dreams. You're filled with vision. You're filled with promises. You get into this position to go to the other positions. But it's so many people who get in this position and stay in this position. Or you get the carrot that gets dangled and dangled and dangled and dangled in front of you. That's why I think this is number 2, because it's a lot of pressure there. You got the pressure of holding back, being bitter because your time is coming. You got the pressure of being frustrated over something, but you still got to perform because your time is coming. It's like you can't really do much in this position because your time is coming. This is just my opinion. So I think it's more pressure here because the first reason is because of that, because of all the dreams and all of the hope that's in that position to go to the next positions. And it's a lot of pressure on you as well because you're not a part of the system. You're not a part of management yet, but you're no longer a part of the people completely. You're in that middle spot. So that brings more pressure because now you got your friends and people who've seen you move up who still kind of want favors and they want certain type of treatment, but you know you can't operate like that because you're partly in the system, but you're not all the way in the system. So you don't even have all the insight there. And they still kind of treat you like you're not in the system because you're technically not all the way in the system. You're still a part of the people. So that PA position is in the middle, and it's a lot that goes on there that most don't see. And this is just inside fillings and all that I just explained. The regular stower, the regular packer wouldn't even see this stuff. They just see a person walking around with a laptop, power walking all over the place. But these are the things that go on behind the scene. And this is my opinion. This isn't, I'm not stating this is this is my opinion with all the PAs I've seen in all the places that I've experienced in Amazon. And as I stated, yes, I've seen people get bitter because they just tried to keep going up. They tried to keep going up. Oh, we got the promises, never came through. Boom, they gave into one of them Bs. They gave into the bitterness. Now they're no longer striving to be that best PA that they could be, that they were this whole time because of the goals and the dreams and that was fed to them to go higher. Now they don't care. I've seen people get into that position, and it's pretty sad when that happens. I've also seen people, and this kind of surprised me, back out. And there's plenty of reasons why, but I didn't even get to the work yet that a PA does. This is all mental stuff that goes on that causes pressure. Now, when you get into the performance and the responsibilities, there's a lot put on your plate as a PA, in my opinion. So now you have that pressure of performance. You have the pressure of while you're controlling and walking the floors and things going wrong, you have a lot on your plate as a PA. Ain't no feeling sorry. This is what we signed up for. But I think most people didn't realize what they signed up for. It was like, oh yeah, cool, PA, this sounds fun. They were like, all right, go run the floor yourself. Poop. Give you a little kick out there. Like, all right, I'll talk to you later. You're like, but wait. Woo, shut the door. But it's pressure on them floors. I done had some days where you got reactive all over the place. You got 3 reactives that's at risk of being missed. You got people who need work. You got to pull 2 water spiders. You got to pull a pallet runner. And if people aren't built to handle that type of multitasking at that fast pace, that is some real pressure that gets put on you. So I give that the number 2 spot for the most pressured position, the PA, the tier 3. And there's plenty more reasons why that's more pressured. If you a tier 3, you've been a tier 3, put it in the comment section so people can hear your opinion on that. Now, the number 1 most pressured position at Amazon warehouse, in my humble opinion, this is just my opinion, I give the number 1 most stressful position to my good old friends, L4 managers. You can kind of squeeze the L5 in there too, but I give the most stressful position to the L4 and L5, but the L4. Why do I say that? When I first walked into Amazon, my eyes were big. They were glowing, opportunity, all this stuff. And when I seen the managers, the L4, I was like, man, they got it made. They must be taken care of. They have the best job on planet Earth. They have no worries. They probably make so much money because this is the biggest company on planet Earth. They have to be making some crazy money. To me, because I've talked to so many of them in away teams, at home buildings here, over here, online, emails. I've talked to so many of them. I couldn't really find one that was happy, or they'll say they're happy. Oh yeah, I love them. I love it. Would you stay in this position? Oh, absolutely not. Like, whoa, what you mean? I thought you loved it. Oh, yeah, it's cool, but to pass by, like, it's not cool to stay here. I literally didn't find one who was like, yeah, I don't mind staying in L4. This is a great job. I love it. Like most jobs where you can stay there, you can grow there in life. You know what I mean? Remember, people used to stay in one position and retire. Ain't nobody retiring as no L4. You better stop. Who's most L4s? Right up out of college. And I'll just leave this part like this. I'll just shut it down. This is what shocked me. This is what stopped me in my tracks and really made me start asking a lot of questions. From the first time I was a PA to the very end time of being a PA, I always heard AMs complaining about finances, not in a bad way. And it's like, if you wanted the L4s, salute, because this wouldn't be done publicly. Well, actually, I'll take that back. There was like a very few who just let it be known to the public, but for the most part, not. And I've talked to, I would say at least 50, at the least. Everybody's different when it comes to the economic situation. It really comes down to your responsibilities. It's different for everybody, but you get the gist that I'm talking about. But I always salute them because they never let that move them in their leadership position. From what I know, from what I've seen, they did a real great job about keeping it to themselves. So the reason why I state that first is because the L4 position has pressure from above coming down. They have a pressure from below coming up. They got pressure from their peers on the side. It's crazy. Like they have pressure to hit certain rates, then also have pressure to hit certain rates, but hey, we may not be able to have certain headcount this time. They got pressure from the side to perform as great as their peers are performing, because who wants to be the AM that doesn't perform well compared to everybody else? So it's that social pressure sideways. Then they got the pressure from the PAs who don't know a clue of what's going on sometimes and be getting on their nerves. Then they got the pressure of the whole team that's stowing or packing with a gajillion things going on. L4 AM position, I salute. And I think that is the most pressured position in Amazon warehouse. And the reason why I didn't give it the PA first, because when it comes to the PA, yeah, if you a real PA and you really striving, it's like, yo, you take it personal. This is my team. You feel me? These my race. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you don't have to go give a reason why rates wasn't hit. You don't have to go answer to why this got used over here many hours and this got this and this, that, and this. I didn't have to go and get questioned by anybody. I went home. It'd be the end of the shift at the end sync, and it's just like, well, all right, you have a good one. They be there like, all right. I give it up for the L4s. Even though I got a video on this, it looks like they don't do nothing. They're like the chess player. They're sitting back, making sure all the pieces are functioning properly. So of course they're not ripping and running and lifting and stowing and packing and doing all this all the time, but they do that too. Let that department got some reactives, or let some CPTs got to be out. What you're going to see all of them hit that floor and start packing. All of them hit that floor and start stowing. Yo, L4s is the business. I'm not going to lie to y'all. L4s put in that work. So even though I give them that number one most pressured position, ask them. They may agree. If you ask them on the clock, they probably won't. They're like, no, I love this job. You know, it's great. They look back at the ops. The ops looking like, all right. Walks away. Hey, man, get out of here. Run. Go as far as you can. Go. Never come back. And then let not the PA show up. The AM will still have to run that floor. So they got to run the floor. They got to run admin. They got to code. They got to staff. They got to go check up on problem solve. They got to go pull indirects while getting questioned. Oh, what's up with this over here? What's up with this over here? What's up with this over here? What's up with this right over here? Yo, I've been a PA for 3 years, right under an AM. And what do the AMs do? They vent to us. I'm not putting a quarter out there of what's been vented to. I ain't said nothing that nobody vented, but I'm letting it be known it's pressure in that area. I'm a PA, and I told you in the last video how I literally felt pressure physically. Their position, I would have to give them that number one spot. That L6 op position is not promised to them. So what do they have to do? They always have to say yes. They always have to try to perform as best as they can so they can get that position. So I went longer than what I wanted to with this video, but I really want to hear your opinions. And what do you think on my top 3 positions? You may not have the knowledge, but from your knowledge, what do you think? What would be your top 3 most stressful positions working at Amazon? Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to definitely put the notification bell on, because if you don't hit the notification bell, you're most likely not going to see the videos when I post them, and I'm posting a lot of videos, so be sure to put that on. Anyways, man, this is your boy SB. Yes, this is my song that's about to come on. It's called Whoa. It's off my project. I do motivation music, inspiration music. Go ahead and stream that. That will be in the description. It's called Motivated, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Let's go.
Look, they say I couldn't do it, but I did. Turn stacks to a crib. Yeah, going up, going in. Let them sleep, bedtime, tuck them in.